to come back on that in the morning.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest. We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it? He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
Yo. Happy Sunday. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High, man. No matter how much we fall short, still give credit where credit is due. Still acknowledge Him in all ways. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. We about to go into a new week. A lot of reflection, a lot of time to contemplate and really think about life, what's important, what isn't. Wanted to close out the weekend with a stream that would allow us to look a little deeper into the mindset of the human brain. Not only the mental aspect of it, but the carnal aspect of it, the fleshly aspect of it. We get up here and pretend like we're perfect. We don't do no wrong, no harm, no foul. But in the end, we're all imperfect, and we all make mistakes, and we all stumble, whether or not we participate just willingly or otherwise, you know. Before we get into this evening, I ain't gonna say today, this evening's discussion, let me give a shout out to my writers, poets, content creators. You know who you are. Shout outs Sydney, MJ, Jacqueline, Symbolic, Mad Mystic, Don King. I've had over 10 different poets come up here. Virgo, Vincing, and a whole list of them, man. I can't even think of off the top of my head. I've been blessed to be able to have these open mics with these folks and it's been so dope, man, so dope. Next week, I'm attempting to do another one. So if you know a poet who knows a poet, send them my way. Email me. Everything is at the bottom below to reach out. I'm very responsive. Doesn't really take me long to get back to you unless I got other matters at hand. I typically respond fairly quick. I do have a video that I want us all to watch. I'm trying to give it a little time. If you would do me a solid repost, share this out. I want as many eyes on this as possible. I want the algorithm to know that my presence is here, that these conversations matter, that they're important and significant. Make sure to hit that button on the way in. I appreciate it.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
One more thing that I want to add.
This is a safe space, okay? Feel free to express yourself.
No biases. We keep it pretty even keeled over here. You dig? But so this video that we're about to watch, I want your honest opinions on it. Share them in the comment section if you want. If you don't, that's cool too. Share them after the stream. It doesn't really make a difference. The reason why I have done this the way that I've done it is because it's one thing to speak on it. It's another thing to visually hear the story and hear the person talk about the experience themselves so that you can actually get a better understanding of what we're actually getting ourselves into. It's not about being nosy or anything like that. You put your information on the internet for the world to see. Is pretty much up in the air for discussion. And I thought this was an interesting one for a number of reasons. One, because it shows that no one is immune from being betrayed. It shows that everyone is vulnerable. You're not a robot. You can fall susceptible to deceit. You can be the victim of a lie. Women are just as trifling as guys are. There are no blurred lines. Men and women are by far even when it comes to a lot of depravity, a lot of sin, a lot of just being ruthless, reckless, lacking empathy, selfish. We all carry the same characteristics. So I just want people to get it out their head that this is a ping pong game of pointing the finger at who does what more than the other person does. This has absolutely nothing to do with pointing the finger or trying to prove that you're superior or that you're more right than the other person. I wish people would stop at that. I really do. Another thing that I want to address too, this video shows you that even the people that are closest to you will stab you in the back. Oh, we got a lot of layers here. And I'm going to slowly walk through this one. Trust me. I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to allow everyone to watch this in its entirety so that you can come to your own conclusions within the structure of the video itself. If I could give you a timestamp, it is about, this is almost a 3-minute video. Shout out to just being, what's the word? having ingenuity, because for the longest time I've wanted to continuously do reactions to videos. It's real complicated. You want to do them, but you don't want to get in trouble with YouTube and the content creators. Some folks are very sensitive. Some people make money off of it, and I'm not knocking you for it. If someone was using my material and I wasn't seeing revenue from it, I'd be a little upset as well. In the same breath, though, with what I've figured out, I don't have to really worry too much about the same issues that I was having a few months ago. I've taken down at least 10 videos that I can think of, probably more. Either I was using music that they didn't want me using, or I was using someone's content, videos, memes that they didn't want me using. So they red marked me. They struck my channel, took me off line for a week or two, and I've been trying to figure out a way to get around that. Even though in the same breath, you got people up here that are damn near nude every single day, and they're not doing anything to them. But that's neither here nor there. But this video is about 3 minutes, close to 3 minutes, nothing beyond that. And I want you guys to take a gander. If you have anything that you want to give feedback on throughout this, I will highlight it up here. Let me see. I'm going to play it now, and we're going to go from there. Let me see, which one is it? I got 3 of them. I have 2 more that I will be doing this week with my panel with Jason, with Anna, with Sydney, even Rob on Monday. So it's going to be a nice lineup this week. Let's see here. I did a reaction to J. Cole, his new song. I did a reaction to Kendra G being on Tamron show. I've done a lot of reviews over the last week or so, just in case anyone wants to check those out. But let's go ahead and jump into this video, man. Stepson and stepmom. This shit is wild, bro. This shit is wild.
Hello and welcome back to a series of anonymous petty events, The Toxic Tea Party. This series is brought to you by what? Toxicity and ungodly amounts of petty. I am tired as fuck, so we're not wasting any time. So me and my now ex-boyfriend, let's call him Bob. Okay. We'd been together for nearly 2 years. We were best friends for 7 years before that, and it ended up just becoming a relationship. His dad and stepmom live in Wales, and we live in Scotland, so we went to visit them for a few days. His stepmom and I didn't get along, as she was definitely a past pick-me girl, and I don't got the time for that bullshit. Girl, nobody does. Anyway, me and Bob had actually been having some problems, and this trip away was sort of the last resort. I was sort of unhappy as his family just weren't the nicest of people, and he would always side with them, with anything going on. Bob had no backbone. We got into a huge argument because his stepmom kept muttering things under her breath and giving me really dirty looks all night when we went out to some bars. I told him I didn't want to deal with his backwards family bullshit, and so I walked out of the bar. Period. His dad, who was the only normal person in his family, ran after me as Bob stayed in the bar drinking with his stepmom. We ended up sitting in a bar across the street, and he just talked to me and calmed me down. He ended up telling me what Bob's stepmom had been saying about me to him and Bob behind my back. How nice of him. Things like I wasn't good looking enough for Bob, I was easy, I was a sleut. I had packed on some pounds, and I wasn't even shocked at this point when he told me that Bob didn't have my back at all when she said these things. Motherfucker, Bob. Also, is stepmom trying to bang Bob? Or... 'cause that's what it seems like. So we kept talking, drinking more, ignoring the calls from Bob and his stepmom. He kept telling me how beautiful I was and how I was so funny when I wasn't around the rest of Bob's family. He also said how I was so fun and cute. So, one thing led to another and we kissed. And then we ended up in a cab, and me being drunk, I texted Bob and said, "We're over." Go back to his dad's place, and we banged. On the couch, on the kitchen countertops, on the stairs, everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. Oh, the places you'll go. 28 missed calls from Bob and his stepmom. Little did we know the cameras were on in the house the entire time. And Bob's stepmom decided to check them after not hearing from us, just to see us banging. Anyway, long story short, I now have a 3-month-old with Bob's dad. We've been together a couple years now. We're engaged to be married in 2026, and by then, I will be Bob's stepmom. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the least petty, 10 being the most.
Initially, when I heard the story, it said, is the stepmom obsessed with the stepson? I'm like, this is about to turn into some West Virginia, the hills have eyes type shit. I thought it was going to be on some incest stuff. But then when you watch it and you listen to it, it sounded more like the girlfriend eventually got into it with her boyfriend's father after having problems with the boyfriend. And the title was created to make it look as if her guy was actually having some weird type of relationship with the stepmother. Where do you want to start? Let's do this. If you are in a relationship, you know there's going to be ups and downs. You know it's not going to be pretty every day. We got that. You got bills, you got economical influence that creates divide and confusion within the household when no one is regulating a structured facility. When there's no balance, the equilibrium is thrown off. The yin doesn't have the yang. The woman can't be the woman. The man is frustrated. Maybe one party is not doing what they should be doing. Maybe both are. But we know as adults, when you are going through something, you figure that shit out in the house. You don't take it outside of your bedroom. Nobody should be in your business. Nobody should know what's going on within your house. That's my personal opinion. You want to go and get advice? That's subjective. Who do you go to? Do you go to a friend? Do you go to a close family member? If you're going to go to someone about your personal life, who do you go to? That's the question that I have for the people. If you're not doing something that is pleasant to your woman or your man, you don't know how to come together and fix the situation that is currently presenting you with a sore thumb, whatever you want to frame it as. Who do you speak to? Because you're not going to be able to keep getting up, going to bed with this person with this underlining problem there, whether or not you're lying to them, hiding a secret from them, you're not fully committed to the evolution of the union that is you and the other person. Secrets do not survive in relationships. Relationships don't survive in secrets. I should have said it that way. People get into relationships to be with somebody. People get in relationships just to be in a relationship. You don't necessarily even desire to be with that specific person generally. Sometimes people just don't want to be on the shelf collecting dust forever. So they'll settle. But in this particular case, you decided that you were going to be involved with someone. Who knows what you saw in him or vice versa. We only got but a portion of the story. And on top of that, the reader is not even the original poster of the story in itself, which can say, well, is this real or is this not? Let's go on the strength that it is a real story. You decided that you wanted to be with this person. You decided to have sex with this person. You decided that you were going to give the most intimate part of you to this person, which is your body. You did that. Something brought you two together. I don't care what you try to frame it as on the internet. You decided that this was somebody that was worth giving yourself to, and you did so. Now, you have exchanged soul ties. You have committed something before God, before man and woman, a piece of you that is so precious. We don't even look at it like it's precious anymore. Your body is a vessel. It's supposed to be a vessel of God. And I'm sitting up here telling you that even though I am one of the biggest sinners there is, I fuck up all the time too. I know the value of the vessel, and even I stumble and slip. So I'm telling you from experience, your vessel is the greatest gift that you could ever receive in this world. And to spread it just so loosely to anything and everyone, knowing that you can easily invite certain energies, spirits, alter the course of futures. You could alter the course of your family's history. You can change timelines. You can reshape the way that the world views you and how you view and receive information and how you value and view people just through the lens of who you embark and engage with. Everything that we do as human beings counts. It matters. Everybody that we touch, everyone that we have conversations with, everyone that we intimately get involved with, all comes down to one essential thing. There's a cause and an effect. Doesn't matter if you stepped on someone's shoe. Doesn't matter if you kissed them on their neck. Doesn't matter if you go behind their back and try to snake their best friend. Doesn't really make a difference how big or small it is. There's nothing that you do that does not have a consequence or some form of recompense to it. That's an absolute fact. Absolute fact. And we need to address that. The young lady, for whatever reason, decided to get online, share her story, and I want to address the importance of this because this woman essentially ends up getting impregnated by her ex's stepfather, which is fucking weird to me. And within the story, you are creating a narrative. Me and the boyfriend are having problems. Prior to us even going to visit this family, we were already going through things. And I want to address this. When you are going through something with your significant other, here's a few gems I want to drop. You give any leeway, if you leave any openings, any cracks available for Satan to enter, if you allow any room for hearsay, for thought, idea, if you leave any room for something to enter within your foundation that you created with him and her, don't blame anyone else for the deconstruction of that relationship or that foundation. When you say you have problems already before you go visit the stepmother and the stepfather, before y'all even decided to get on that plane or drive hundreds and thousands of miles to go visit them, before you even did any of that, the logic in me just says, why don't y'all just go ahead and figure this shit out before y'all hop on an airplane and do this? You're committing money, time, and resources. You just wasted hundreds of dollars, maybe even more, to take a trip with somebody that you're not even sure if you want to remain with. Here's some things that I noticed within this story too. As she was so eloquently reenacting the entire story timeline, she also wanted to make it very clear that she felt like her ex at the time was not a man. He did not know how to handle her in the relationship. He was a mama's boy. He was controlled. He was weak. He just didn't know. Well, you opened your legs to him, right? You did lay down with him, right? Didn't you? Wasn't that you? I don't see nobody else. It's funny how y'all get on camera, or you take your words, which are designed to annihilate and assassinate the character of a person, when within the same breath you physically entered into a contract, spiritually and physically, to go down this road with that said person. Oh, now some people's going to say, well, how could she know? How could she know he was going to be like that? How could she? we only got one side of the story. We don't know his perspective one bit. We don't know if he cheated on her. We don't know if he was a horrible ass man. We don't know if he just did everything right and she just was ungrateful. We don't know anything other than what she told us. And based on what she was saying here, if we're just going to go off of what she said, then there's no harm, no foul. But I call cap on all of it because you slept with, not only did you sleep with this man's stepfather or father, but you also got knocked up by the father and you're getting married to him. Now, what type of shit is that?
Damn!
What the hell is that? I wish she would have actually did the story time herself. I would have. I just wanted to. I want to see the person. I want to visually see the person who could have been so bold and brazen to get online and so casually describe how the guy that she decided to sleep with wasn't shit, but she still slept with the person that she said wasn't shit, and they were having problems with, but you didn't solve the problems to get rid of the problem. You just continuously stayed within the problem, complaining about the problem, and then instead of finding a healthy way to get rid of the problem with a adult-like solution, you decided to travel hundreds and hundreds of miles to another location to find a exit strategy out of the situation, which in turn backfired on you because the individual had cameras within the structure of their home.
Sensational.
You're a grown woman. I say this to women everywhere, men everywhere. You are grown. You are an adult. If you don't like something within the household, within the relationship, talk about it. Don't drag it. Don't huff and puff around them. Don't give them the silent treatment. Don't drink all the milk and leave but a couple of gulps in the fucking jug. Don't be petty. You don't like something within the relationship. If they not showing up, say something about it. If he's not showing up, say something about it. If she's not showing up, say something about it. If you have come to a port where things need to split and you need to go your separate ways to figure out what it is that you are doing or not doing so that in the future you could be better in these situations. And the best thing for both of you are to part ways, have the conversation, stop fucking around, bringing in other energies within your home, within your relationships, because you are so childish that you don't know how to deliver uncomfortable messages to the person that you are laying down with. The most intimate thing that you could ever do is give your body away to another person. Allowing someone to enter in between your legs and penetrate you is one of the most intimate things that anyone can ever do. And you mean to tell me it's easier for you to let someone release fluids within the infrastructure of your vessel than it is for you to tell a person how you feel? It's easier for you to get penis. It's easier for you to have someone sit on your face and do all that shit and titty bang you, but you don't know how to talk to the person that is doing all of this Make that make sense to me. Sounds to me like two adults who had no business getting involved in the first place. You should have stayed where you were. She should have stayed where she was. Y'all never should have crossed paths. See how the timelines work? You see how you can create something that should have never existed just by being lustful, just by being self-serving. Oh, I gotta have someone. I gotta have this person. They're witty, they're charming, they're attractive, they're funny, they dress well, they smell good. I gotta have this person. I gotta have that person. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. But you sitting up here complaining. Y'all been going through shit for weeks, for months, who knows how long before you even went on a trip. Y'all were already going through shit. So you already had problems going on. You didn't deal with it properly. You didn't do what you like. I could understand if you would have handled that before you went on the trip, because then you would have, first of all, you handled the problem before you go on the trip. You decide if you want to stay in this relationship or go your separate ways. That way you don't even go on a trip. If you have the conversation prior to the trip, the relationship can end or it can grow. You find out where this person stands. You find out if this person is about you anymore or if they're not. You part ways. Then you save hundreds and thousands of dollars. You don't get on the plane. You don't go to Switzerland. You don't go to the bar. You don't end up in bed with this man's father. You don't get knocked up by this man's father. You see how timelines work? You see how easily it is for you to alter your destination? All it takes is one immature decision. All it takes is one. I gotta have this right now. I just can't wait. I can't wait. I'm impatient. I'm rambunctious. I like this. I see this. It's pretty. I gotta have it. All it takes is you to just jump right into something, not even aware that what you're jumping into is not going to be what you expected. Now, they both, at the beginning, guarantee you was all cool. You didn't vet properly. You didn't even know if this was really most of the times when women and men end up falling out with each other is because they didn't properly vet each other. You didn't know them for real. You ignored red flags. You decided to do what you wanted to do. You ignored your instincts and went with your flesh. You ignored it and decided, well, all right, it is what it is. I'm about to go ahead and do what I'm going to do anyway. Maybe I can kind of prevent the fuckery from happening, even though that shit is inevitable. If a person is what they are, you are not going to change that. You cannot change what a person is. Only time can do that. Only God can do that. Only the right season can do that. Only the right what's the word? There's a divine timing. There's an alignment. Just like if you walk outside your door 5 minutes before you're supposed to walk outside your door, you could be getting involved in a crossfire that had nothing to do with you. Or if you are so impatient on the road and you speeding, going from lane to lane, jumping from lane to lane, getting in, you being so impatient to get to work that you cause an accident. But you will blame everybody else for your accident. You the one out here speeding. You the one that got to get to work. You the one that got to get home. You're the one that's impatient, road rage. If you just took your time, I know I ain't the only one that's ever been in traffic. And it's always damn near every day. It's damn near not one day out of the week where there's not a car accident. And you be like, damn, can we just not get 1 week where somebody ain't crashing into somebody? You would think by now at some point folks would learn their lesson. Y'all drive past smashed in cars and be like, damn, man, let me go ahead and slow the hell down. Let me stop being so. You would think people would just be like, damn, I need to go ahead and chill out because I'm not trying to be in that spot. No. People still do what they want to do and still move how they want to move. It never fails whatsoever. It almost is impossible to drive anywhere and not run into an accident somewhere. So when folks say be patient, use a little discernment, take heed to that. Honestly. This woman is now about to get married to this guy's father, about have the dude child and all that shit. How many people, show of hands, think that this is going to be a successful marriage? How many people actually think after what she did, she's going to have a happy relationship? You cheated on your ex with his father, got knocked up by him, and you're going to marry him? You didn't end the relationship the way that you should have. On top of that, I guarantee if there weren't no cameras in that house, you would have never said nothing. The father would have never said anything. And y'all would have continued on doing what you were doing. You got pregnant, you would have had that guy thinking that he was the father of that child. And this would have been a 18-year worth of headache, heartache, anger, bitterness. Do you understand what I'm saying? The fact that there were cameras in the house tells me that somebody was looking out for old boy. The son? Yeah, somebody was looking out for you. The cameras absolutely saved you. Absolutely. And the reason why I was so adamant about speaking on this one is because it's like, damn, why y'all be acting like y'all so perfect? Like your girlfriends are the epitome of friendship and loyalty and faithfulness, and they would never think to snake you or turn their back on you and leave you high and dry, when we see examples of it all day, every day. Y'all think that a lot of these stories are just jokes, they're jargon, they're exaggerated, they're just there for clicks and likes, and some of them are, but a lot of these people really be having these experiences. I still can't grasp the idea of some of this shit sometimes. It's that ridiculous to me. How anybody could even fathom. But then I gotta humble myself. And I mean, like, all the way down. I gotta shut up. I really gotta shut the fuck up sometimes, because I have been grimy myself. I've been very, very grimy myself. I can't say that nobody is incapable of anything. That woman slept with that man's father. I can't even say I'm surprised at it. Y'all thinking that this was something. I have more. I have more shit clipped up that I will be speaking on throughout the week. You hear someone speak, and it's like, damn, really? Really? You did that shit? Like you really did that? You said that? This can't be real. This has to be a joke. Ashton Kutcher must be back. Punked must be back. Something is up. Something is in the water. This cannot be a thing that's reoccurring this often. But then you go on TikTok, you go on this bitch right now, and you can just scroll. I'm gonna turn the volume down on this shit. I'm gonna show you something. I don't even really have to go to, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to TikTok. I can go to IG. I can go to Facebook. I can go to Twitter. I can go to you, you name it. I can just go to all of them. I'm gonna go to TikTok though, and I'm gonna show you something real quick. This shit is just so reoccurring, man. It's not even funny, and you think that it's exaggerated. You think it's just everybody is just looking for attention, in which cases a lot of people are. However, I would even make the case to say whether or not they are or not, something's clearly going on here. So hold on. Let me see something. See this right here? Those are story times. These are story times. All of them are about drama. All of them are about drama. Let's scroll. Let's scroll. Drama, 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 drama. Everybody, betrayal. You slept with my best friend. You slept with my baby father. You slept with my sister. You slept with my mom. People talking about you behind your back. Messy TikTok, story time. This shit is everywhere. If you don't know how to be in a relationship, don't be in one. If you want to indulge outside of the relationship, don't be in one. If you want to be in a polyamorous one, make sure your spouse accepts it. None of the sneaky stuff. Just be a grown ass woman about it. Just be a grown ass man about it. Why are you so scared if you're an adult? What are you scared? What are you afraid of? Give them the option to stay or go. If you're afraid to lose them, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. If you really cared that much, you just wouldn't do what you're doing. This particular case, all it did was reinforce everything that I spoke on. That's it. Now, because we have a few more viewers here, I will play the video one more time. Just for you. Just so that you can see for yourself exactly what I'm talking about. I even encourage anyone to go back. If you haven't been here with me from the beginning of the stream, to go back to the beginning, watch it through. you'll get better context. Don't watch portions and then be confused about what is going on here and then make assertions about the discussion based on portions of what you heard when you need the entirety to fully grasp the situation at hand. Fortunately, though, I have the video for you so you can see it for yourself and understand that what I'm talking about is not really far-fetched and I'm not really delusional. I'm not tripping. All right. So I'm gonna play this joint one more time, man, and I'm gonna address a few other things before I, settle. I just wanted to present this particular case so that we can kind of humble ourselves a little bit more. And it's something that I want to address about detachment too. But I'm gonna play this real quick, so bear with me.
Hello and welcome back to a series of anonymous petty events, The Toxic Tea Party. This series is brought to you by what? Toxicity and ungodly amounts of petty. I am tired as fuck, so we're not wasting any time. So me and my now ex-boyfriend, let's call him Bob. Okay. We'd been together for nearly 2 years. We were best friends for 7 years before that, and it ended up just becoming a relationship. His dad and stepmom live in Wales, and we live in Scotland, so we went to visit them for a few days. His stepmom and I didn't get along, as she was definitely a past pick-me girl, and I don't got the time for that bullshit. Girl, nobody does. Anyway, me and Bob had actually been having some problems, and this trip away was sort of the last resort. I was sort of unhappy as his family just weren't the nicest of people, and he would always side with them, with anything going on. Bob had no backbone. We got into a huge argument because his stepmom kept muttering things under her breath and giving me really dirty looks all night when we went out to some bars. I told him I didn't want to deal with his backwards family bullshit, and so I walked out of the bar. Period. His dad, who was the only normal person in his family, ran after me as Bob stayed in the bar drinking with his stepmom. We ended up sitting in a bar across the street, and he just talked to me and calmed me down. He ended up telling me what Bob's stepmom had been saying about me to him and Bob behind my back. How nice of him. Things like I wasn't good looking enough for Bob, I was easy, I was a sleut. I had packed on some pounds, and I wasn't even shocked at this point when he told me that Bob didn't have my back at all when she said these things. Motherfucker, Bob. Also, is stepmom trying to bang Bob? Or... 'cause that's what it seems like. So we kept talking, drinking more, ignoring the calls from Bob and his stepmom. He kept telling me how beautiful I was and how I was so funny when I wasn't around the rest of Bob's family. He also said how I was so fun and cute. So, one thing led to another and we kissed. And then we ended up in a cab, and me being drunk, I texted Bob and said, "We're over." Go back to his dad's place, and we banged. On the couch, on the kitchen countertops, on the stairs. Everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. Oh, the places you'll go. 28 missed calls from Bob and his stepmom. Little did we know the cameras were on in the house the entire time. And Bob's stepmom decided to check them after not hearing from us. Just to see us banging. Anyway, long story short, I now have a 3-month-old with Bob's dad. We've been together a couple years now. We're engaged to be married in 2026, and by then, I will be Bob's stepmom. On a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the least petty, 10 being the most.
Sensational.
Let's jump on the father real quick. Let's jump on the father, and then let's jump on the stepmom. When a person is carnal, when you're horny, when you're lustful, You don't have morals. You don't have principles. You don't have anything solid grounding you, giving you any type of restriction or restraint from conducting yourself in a manner that is not becoming of a parent, a father figure, a mother figure, a leader, a guider, an authority figure of any shape, form, or fashion. When you're led by your lust and your desires and your wants and your needs, you don't have any rules. You don't follow the same type of morality that most people do. You don't care. You can pretty much go out here and do whatever the hell you want without any restraint. You need what you need, and it really doesn't matter if it's a parent. It doesn't matter if it's a principal. It doesn't matter if it's a co-worker. It doesn't matter if it's the fucking troll under the bridge. Don't really make a difference who it is. It could be your high school sweetheart. It could be your fucking own child. If a person is led by their desires, you will never be able to have anything solid with them. It's going to be an uphill battle. They got yokes to break. They have programming to unlearn. You're not walking on the same playing field. It's about keeps and it's about taking for them. That's why you'll see dudes just like the pops here is playing and preying on the vulnerability of someone who has been beaten and battered emotionally and mentally, in a circus of pseudo I love yous. This woman was in a relationship with someone that she should have never been in one with, but she signed up for it. And so because you signed up for it, you should have done everything within your power to either create a healthy environment for it to blossom, or you should have severed ties with the person so that you could ensure that karma doesn't follow you. You should have severed ties with that person to ensure that you didn't sow or create something outside of that would follow you and anyone else attached to you in the future. You should have severed it before you made it to the bar to have that conversation with him, because you're not happy. You're miserable. Whatever was happening within that relationship between you and him, you were already vulnerable. And a lot of dudes with no moral compass, they will play on that. Especially if you don't have a high self-esteem. The father, he understands the game. And I can tell just based off of everything that he did with her, that his relationship with the stepmother was not cohesive either. So you got a woman unhappy with her ex, still holding on. You got a father and a stepmom in a marriage, relationship, whatever the fuck it is. You got them there just to be there. No one honors the relationships that they're in. Nobody is mature enough to handle their unhappiness in the way that they should. Yeah, this was a recipe for disaster from the jump. And you really think, you honestly think that the way that you handled your situation with your guy and the way that he handled his situation with his step mother, which is his wife, or I don't, the way, first of all, that's your son. That's your son, and you knocked up his girl. All it took, she couldn't do this shit before they got there. She broke up with you while they were. She wasn't woman enough to handle it before. But the dad himself was already looking at her. He already had his own intentions. For a parent to do that to their kids, yeah. This entire video, the entire discussion was a reminder to people that don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Even your own family will fuck you over. Even your own friends. Man, in fact, those will be the ones that do it the most. Do not get so comfortable in your friendships or in your relationships. If you got issues, fix them. If you uncertain, figure it out. No more uncertainties, no more what ifs, no more questioning if this is for me or not for me. Figure it out, get it out the way, move on with your life. You'll be better off. Not a single party in this story at this current moment should be taken serious or should be looked at to be a support system. They shouldn't be looked at for advice. This is more of a case study. I wouldn't trust not a single soul around them. I wouldn't trust me around them. I wouldn't leave a single child around none of them. If you capable of doing that to your son, yeah, there are no limits. There's absolutely no limitations. I'm cool on all of it. You got it. You got it. That's why discernment and conversations, real ones that make sense and matter. Don't be asking dumb, goofy questions. What's your favorite color? And where you go to school? Ask questions like, did you ever have trauma? Where did your trauma stem from? Were you ever inappropriately in situations with family? Has anyone ever spiritually hurt you? Has anyone ever broken you? Have you ever been in situations that were life-threatening? Ask questions like that. Don't ask these basic surface level ass questions that don't really get you anywhere. You need answers. In 2005, We need answers. I need to know if we on the same playing field or not. I don't need to be wasting no time. Not doing it whatsoever. Sorry. Or you can continue to play around and act like you got it all figured out and you can just let things slide. When you let things slide, people continue to push and see how far they can go with it. Nah, no, we're not doing that. We can't do that. That is not, no. I'm out the door. Any signs of indecision, any signs of confusion, I don't know if you want to be here, don't want to be here. Any signs of secretive physiological implications on display through your actions towards me and whatever we got going on, I'm not doing it. I'm not dealing with it. I refuse. Go by. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not trying to save nothing. Get out of my face. In ludicrous voice, get the up out of my business. No. The joke is on you. Ain't no way that's gonna be a long lasting marriage. And now what you've done is you spread your deceit to your child. Because everything that led up to the consummation of that kid is going to get passed along to the kid, and the kid is going to carry the characteristics of you and the woman. Congratulations. Not only did you blur the lines within the relationship between you and your son, you destroyed your relationship with the stepmom. You created more chaos and ripple effects for everyone involved in it. But no one is really ever looking at the bigger picture. So that's why I am here to talk about stuff like this. We get, but so far within these conversations, we don't really unpeel the layers back enough. Everything that transpired, I gave you a timeline, two separate versions. One where the girl and her ex handled this shit before they went on the trip, and I gave you one afterwards. If they would have handled this shit before they went, they wouldn't have gotten married. Maybe they would have, but it wouldn't have been on his dime though. If she was going to make her way to go see him, it was going to have to be another way. Ain't no way I'm about to spend $200, $300, $400, take you to go see my folks for you to end up with my father, and then I just wasted $400, $500 on some shit that eventually got me left in the dust. You done lost your fucking mind. You have lost your mind. We are not doing that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So yeah. That whole, I think, oh, is the stepmom into the son? Shut up. Shut up. That's not gonna work here. now that I think about it, I don't know them, but based on that comment, the way she was making it seem like the stepmom was too involved with the stepson and too intrusive or whatever the case may be, you never know. That shit could have been possible. I mean, she is sleeping with the dude's father, so it wouldn't be so far fetched to think that the stepmom would have a thing for the stepson. But let's say that's not the case. A woman knows a woman. Maybe she saw something with old girl. I don't know. She was making it seem like her ex was just basically calling her fat, useless, etc., etc., etc. They always play the victim. They never say, "Damn, well, I did do this. I did say this. I did that. I did get lazy. I stopped going to the gym. I wasn't sucking his dick. I wasn't, what I'm saying, doing X, Y, and Z. So some of this might be my fault. All of this ain't on him. You never hear that shit. Y'all get on my fucking nerves with that. You really do.
Fuck you. Shut up, bitch.
You never hold your end high, loud, and proud. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it again. Say it again. I'm black and I'm proud. Never do that, though. But you want us to believe that you're just the victim. So you rationalize fucking with the dude's father by saying that he pretty much just thrashed you the entire time, that you voluntarily laid up with him. That makes perfect sense. Damn. You laid up with somebody who didn't really like you. Shit. Congratulations. I didn't. Shit. Hey, I just learned something. Okay. Yeah. Nobody's buying that. If you couldn't tell I was being sarcastic, nobody's really buying that shit, man. Nobody. Absolutely no one. I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. I don't have to have a PhD. I don't have to personally know you. You decided to get up here, share your story with someone. You, and then that's the thing too. You used someone else as a scapegoat to share your story. You didn't want to show your face, but you didn't have no problem exposing your dirty laundry either. The ex-boyfriend, I hope you get your shit in order. You're just as guilty for everything that happened here. As the man in the relationship, you had the same responsibility, if not more, to nip this in the bud and handle it before it got to where it did. I don't know why people love drama and love being in toxic situations so bad. Why do you insist on staying in stuff like that? Right. You're not healed either. You got your own stuff too, right? I know. You can tell when people are damaged, When people are broken, they don't have all their pieces to the puzzle put together the way that they just move reckless. They do the most reckless things ever. Their decision making is horrible. The people that they choose to keep around them, horrible. The conversations, they're limited. Their way of thinking, their ability to receive and perceive is limited. And on top of that, they're a vacuum for anything negative. They don't know how to filter without their filtering system is just awful. So you're no better than she was. But I digress. Stepmom. This wasn't about the stepmom and Bob, because that wasn't his real name. This was about you finding an excuse to engage with that man's pops without feeling guilty for doing what you did. And you want sympathy for it. I don't believe the story. I don't believe 1 second that you were completely innocent throughout the duration of the relationship. Like you were just completely squeaky clean. That's exactly why my circle, I don't have one. Because you'll be around dudes and you'll be around girls that be wanting to sleep with your guy, that be wanting to sleep with your woman the whole entire time, or they're probably already doing it and you just don't know it. It's hard to trust a single soul out here anymore. I hate to be a skeptic, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't know where everyone is watching from. I do thank you for sticking this out. I played it twice to make sure that everyone had a fair chance to watch their entire clip. Your version of what happened might be different than mine. You might not even agree with anything that I said. It's just my interpretation of it. And it's what I've noticed with all these story times. It's what I've noticed with the patterns that come with certain people, like they are in the most healthiest and most harmonious relationships, and you really aren't. I think that y'all showboating and showing out, and a lot of people be sitting up here feeling sorry because they don't have what you have. I don't even look at that shit like that no more. Stories like this really be making me just super happy that I ain't fucking around with people. Because a lot of y'all be on some bullshit. A lot of women be on bullshit. A lot of dudes be on bullshit. Use better discernment. Stop being scared to say what you want. Ask for what you want. If they don't conform or agree with it, keep it moving until you find someone who is actually okay with it. Don't chase after it. Don't prioritize it over your purpose and over your calling. Make sure your priority is in order before you bring people into your vicinity. Make sure your life is going the way that it's supposed to be going, properly and decently. Nothing sloppy, nothing half-assed, nothing here and here. You're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. None of that. Make sure that you are content and happy with the direction that you're going in, so that the person that decides to come along, they're on board with where you're going. Because if they're not, don't even waste your breath or your time. Otherwise, you might end up a Reddit story or TikTok story time. That's all I got to say about that. Make sure, do me a solid, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, IG, YouTube, especially YouTube. Help me get the word out, the message out, repost, reshare. Any little gesture, I appreciate it. I'm humble for it. I don't ask nobody for donations and none of that shit. I've never asked anybody for shit. All I ask is that you help me get into the algorithm so they can stop playing with what we doing over here on this side of the internet. That's it. Anything else you do, just do it from the kindness of your heart. That's it. Do it because you want to. Besides that, I hope everybody here has a blessed week. Drive safe. Be careful on the road. Be a little more privy to the decisions and the choices that you make moving forward. Remove hurt, anger, bitterness. Get all that shit up out of you. And have you a very productive week. I'll be back tomorrow, Lord willing. We got another good show. I got Rob pulling up. I don't know if he's here watching, but shout out to Rob. Shout out to Sydney, Jason, all of them. I'm about to get up out of here. Y'all enjoy yourself, man. I will see you guys tomorrow.